Hi there, traders. This is Brad Gilbert with the weekly kickoff. It's Monday, the 15th of April. All right, now just looking at the markets when they open up today, into the Asian session, US equity futures higher, giving us a risk-on profile. Euro, sterling, Aussie, Kiwi up, and most of the dollar pairs down, right? This yen doing its own thing, but bit interesting, right? Because we had the Iran and Israel sort of starting to go to blows, and that was something we had to keep an eye on very closely, but no major moves at the moment, right? The US isn't involved military-wise, so let's just see how that plays out. Now, just having a look at your charts, one thing to note from last week is the US dollar is hanging on to those recent gains, okay? Those US CPI numbers, even though they weren't much stronger than expected, we are seeing those moves hold. And to me, that is confirmation that the market has walked away from the chance of a Fed cut anytime soon. And this is where fair value for the US dollar is right now, okay? If I just come across here to the trading economics and have a look at the key data that's coming out, looking at US retail sales figures, right, coming out on Monday. Now, this is a great day to get this data out, right? Reconnect after the weekend. The market's trying to work out, do we buy dollars, sell dollars, all this sort of stuff, looking at the geopolitical issues. Retail sales figures comes at a good time. It's going to confirm whether the US economy is really strong or not. If it is, we'll see confirmation and the dollar will probably move a little bit higher. If it's weaker, it really puts a bit of a shadow over last week's US CPI numbers. Now, other key data this week, we've got some big numbers out of China, important for Aussie and Kiwi. We've got the UK unemployment figures, Canadian inflation rate numbers, that's probably a key number. And coming into Wednesday, UK inflation numbers, and Friday, probably retail sales would be the pick of it. I wouldn't be getting overly excited about the Japanese inflation numbers, right? But the devil is in the detail. And if I just trim this back to include second tier numbers, okay, and let me just widen this screen out a touch, you'll start to see as we come into Tuesday's trading, we do have a bunch of sort of second, third tier numbers, building permits, some housing numbers there as well. So keep an eye on that, right? Because we are looking for confirmation that the US economy is really rocking out of gear, right? That will confirm the strong dollar. And it's important to know that because it gives us one side of the market to trade against or trade with, if you like to think of it that way. When it gets into Thursday, we do have, I'm really keen to keep an eye on these US numbers, initial jobless claims, the Philly Fed Manufacturing Index, and also Williams speaking. We want to see what's going on. Aussie employment numbers coming out Thursday as well. That's sort of usually a high impacting number. We'll see how things are trading at that stage. And UK retail sales figures Friday, probably the pick of it. We will keep an eye on those Japanese inflation numbers, but tell you what, they haven't really budged much in the last couple of decades. All right, so that's where we are, right? So you can actually trim your calendar up to include the high impacting numbers. It really trims in for you where the big numbers are, right? And some of them aren't really that big. As I said, inflation numbers are in general. I'd take out the Japanese ones. Building permits, well, it's like that's second tier numbers out of the US. Retail sales is the key to it, to give us a bit of a kickstart to the week to see if this dollar move is actually real or not, right? That's the crux of it. At the moment, we're looking at the charts and, for all money, it looks like the US economy is flying out of control. It's not, right? So once again, just recapping here, if we get like weak US retail sales figures, you're going to see a bounce in Euro, Sterling, Aussie, Kiwi, and a fall in the general dollar, probably dollar Swiss, dollar index. Dollar yen's just out of control, as is dollar Canada. Okay, oil is that getting caught up in this Iran-Israel issue? Maybe not really at the moment, maybe a little bit, but we'll see how that plays out during the week. I'm trying to focus in on where the best trading opportunities are, and the market is telling me that they believe the strong dollars, it's not a myth at the moment. We have got a strong US economy. That's why we're looking at these numbers this week, in particular today's US retail sales figures. All right. it's going to be an interesting week, right? And we're going to be seeing the impact of any more geopolitical stuff going on around the world, whether that impacts the markets or not. Israel and Iran, they're not exactly players in the financial markets. We're on the front line of the majors and the major equity markets, but they can impact with a safe haven trade if things escalate, right? And that's what we're sort of looking for as we go forward. So, and that's it. Strong dollar. Is it real or not? We'll find out this week. All right, guys, have a good one. All the best. Cheerio.